Hello and welcome to Talks Tasha, and I have a beautiful guest with me. Her name is Tammy Nicole. Thank you so much for coming on Talks Tasha. At the beginning, this is about having a relationship with yourself first before you can form other relationships with other people.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think the most important relationship we can ever have is the one with ourselves before having one with everybody else. I am a believer in Jesus, and he himself told us to love others as you love yourself, which would be a definite indication that loving yourself first before you love others is super important, because in order to love them, you have to give yourself a blueprint. How am I supposed to love other people if I don't know how to love me?
People struggle with that, don't they, about loving themselves? Because some people can't love who they are. They just hate themselves. So how would you encourage somebody who has that sort of self-loathing or self-hatred towards themselves? Because I know some people that don't like themselves. They will say, I hate myself, or I hate the way I look. How would you encourage that person to just make small steps in loving themselves?
So it's really, first you got to start with accepting with who you are, right? Like, there may be things that you don't like, and that's okay. The things that you don't like, you want to change it, right? It's not that you can't change things. It's about learning to start with acceptance and then make the small changes along the way. To hate yourself, to me, is going to start from some level of trauma, some level of, you know, egregious events that have happened to you that you just can't get past. So you may have to start with that event first and figure out, what was it that made me get to this point.
Especially with women as well, we're sort of very sensitive, aren't we, as women? And we
We
can
can
sort of,
be. We are
yeah.
definitely self-critical. I will say that. Yeah.
I mean, there was something I was watching I was
My
snooping around on
videos.
your Facebook, and I was just seeing some amazing quotes that I found. And it was saying, I can be loving, but won't be a landing pad for your chaos. That just really spoke out to me. Like, you can be loving, but you won't be a landing pad for somebody else's chaos. Could you
Right.
elaborate more on that? Because I just love that.
Right. So when you think about it, right, you don't have to always accept other people's drama. I can love you, and I can learn to love you from a distance. I can love you, be kind to you, but I don't have to accept you being critical or beating me up or being very disrespectful or any of that sort. Your chaos does not become my catastrophe.
Done that in the past where I've allowed other people's chaos to sort of disrupt my peace. And there was another one that you said, the more I honor no, the more powerful my yes becomes. Another one.
Yes. So
That is
no is
so
it's a
powerful.
statement. No is a complete sentence. It's not a suggestion. It's not a thought. It's a complete sentence. And a lot of times we we think that saying no is just not an option, and it is. It is. And it becomes an option when you understand your level of capacity. A lot of us, because we don't know ourselves and we don't love ourselves, we don't know our capacity and our limits for people and just things in general. Self love allows your life to move in a way that is not just smooth and energetic, but it just allows your life to move in a way that doesn't have too many infractions. And people always ask me, well, why is that? And the reason it is because you know you, right? So you make your decisions a little different. You make how you move and how you show up a little different. It enhances your parenting, it enhances your friendships, it enhances your relationships with other people, because I'm not groggy and mean and moving from a place of irritability. I'm moving from a place of freedom. I'm moving from a place of peace, because I know me, I pour into me. If we understood that filling our cup is our responsibility, the overflow goes to other people, because you cannot pour from an empty cup.
Oh. So did you hear that, guy? Filling your cup is your responsibility, but the overflow it's going to be poured out on other people. And it's true, you can't pour into people if you haven't got anything or you're empty yourselves.
Correct.
But there's some people that watch this don't have any faith. So where would you guide them to go to get their infilling? Where would be the
Themselves,
source?
right? So they are the source. You are your own source outside of the spiritual perspective of, having a spiritual feeling. When we talking about self-love, you are the source. You have to know who you are. I literally am releasing a journal in the next week or two called Me, Myself, and Love. This journal is a self-love relationship builder built off of solo dates. You have to know
Mm.
yourself. You have to get to know yourself. You have to talk about where did your definition of love stem from? How did it develop? Where do you see why do you see loving yourself the way you do? Where did it who gave you the definition that loving you was not important? Who told you it was selfish? Where did you arrive at this sense of self and love for yourself? Like, how did you get here? So we dive deep into that, and then we dive into, well, let's get to know you. What are the things that you like? We go back into childhood and say, what things in your childhood made you happy? We become adults and we stop playing, and that's not good. When I was younger, I used to like to do coloring. I color to this day in order to soothe when I'm irritated, when I have a lot on my mind, to decompress and not become overwhelmed. I color because that's what soothed me when I was a kid. But we think we become an adult and that childhood stuff is supposed to be erased and thrown away and not really revisited, and that's not true because you revisit it with your trauma. Why you can't revisit with your happiness?
See, I like going on the swings. So could you say that we could go on the swings and go
Why
in the
not?
playground?
Why not? Why can't you? You can put a hammock on a patio and swing in it. You can do all kinds of things to make swinging a thing for yourself, but I don't see why you can't. I don't see why you can't go to the park. I literally was at the park yesterday riding bikes.
And it takes you back there, doesn't it? And it gives you
Oh my
that
goodness,
peace
yesterday
and
was
that
amazing.
wholeness.
I was able to feel so free. I was like, "Oh my god, I need to do this more often," you know? I just think that we have to get to a place of knowing who we are in order to show up for any and everybody else. As women, we tend to think that it's our responsibility to care for the world, but if you are not cared for, what good are you doing anybody in the world?
I love that. Going back to your childhood, going back to what you enjoy doing as a child, it gives you that sense of, I don't know, there's something empowering in that, in what you're
Yeah.
saying. It
Absolutely. I
really
think
is.
we just don't do it enough. We don't spend time with ourselves enough. So when I created this journal, I created it to be transformative so that you wouldn't just say, "Oh, I went on dates with myself," but that you would really get to know you and know you inside and out. You make a commitment to yourself. We will make a commitment to other people and not to us. We will set we set standards, though we call them boundaries. We will set standards for other people and call them boundaries because they're the reason they're not boundaries because boundaries are for yourself. They're not for other people. You set a boundary for you. A boundary looks like I will not sit in this conversation any longer if you continue to yell. That's my boundary. Or I will not answer my phone after 9 p.m. period, because that's my time of decompressing or peace. So following through on your boundaries is more about you than it is about the other person.
So it's really looking after yourself. And because you're no use to anyone, like you're saying, you're no use to anyone if you're empty, having an empty cup, running on empty. This is so enriching. And I want to take bits from this. So, where can we find your journal that you're going to, have you published it? Or you're in the
It has
process of
not
writing it,
published
did
yet.
you
I'm
say?
actually releasing it soon. Everything will always be able to be found on Amazon and also always be able to be found on my website. So you can go to Amazon, you can type in Tammy Nicole, you'll find different things there. I have about 5 books out now. I do a lot of things from self-love as well as daddy issues. So there will be 2 journals once this one is released, and then there are 3 other books I have my last book was called The Self Love Blueprint for Moms. It's a little bit of a journal, but it's a workbook. It's really about a guide to breaking the cycle of generational trauma. So a lot of times we as moms pass down the trauma to our kids unknowingly, unintentionally, but we can stop it. We can break the cycle by loving ourselves and showing them how to love themselves. I always tell the happiest child has the happy mom, period. Learn to love you, you teach others how to love you. You no longer accept what they provide or give. The other thing it does for you is when I learned to love myself, I then attracted individuals that were like me. So you are what you attract. You don't attract what you desire. You attract who you are. It doesn't matter what you want to be, it's who you are. So you can tell yourself all day that you're this individual. If you're genuinely not them, that's not what you're going to attract. So when you're asking yourself, why do I keep attracting the same man with a different face and a different name? It's because you're attracting yourself, and you need to clean up and fix up the things within you that are attracting what you don't want, because clearly it resides within you.
It's like you'll drop something and you just go quiet. So you are what you attract. So when you attract bad rubbish or whatever women, that is who you are. That's a reflection of
Facts.
who you are. And then they're like,
Facts.
oh, I don't know why I keep picking up the same. Well, that's you. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
it's you.
That is so true. That is
Every
so true.
relationship is a reflection. Every relationship is a mirror. It's a reflection. A it's not just like a choice. A lot of times people think that they're choosing people and it's just the people, but it's you. Like it really is you. And if you ever took the time and sit back and say, do I see myself in them? The things that I'm like frustrated about or irritated about that come from them, do I show up that way as well? And 9 times, no, really 10 out of 10, you do. You may not want to admit it, but if you ever took the moment to just stop and reflect and look, you'll see. I always
Time.
tell people the best, if you don't want to go to therapy, because I am technically a clinician. I'm clinician by trade, degree, etc. And then I switched over into life coaching through self-love coaching. But if you ever wanted to say, I don't want to go to therapy, relationships are therapy themselves, but you have to be willing to see and listen and accept. You cannot sit up and think, oh man, they're just picking at me, or they're talking about that I do X, Y, and Z and be real defensive. You cannot be defensive. You have to use the relationship as a tool. And it's a tool to see you, because every relationship is a mirror. Every last one of them. It reflects back who you are. So the things you don't like is because you exist in it. Everybody's
It's
stressed
happening all around the world, really. What would you say
everywhere.
to a person? Because there are some people that are really struggling, and I know there's some people that are watching that are struggling right now. What would you say to these people out here who are struggling with anxiety or
Again, to
mental
me, it
health?
still results back into the self-love space. I think that it's more about taking time for you. A lot of times we get overwhelmed with everything going on, and we take on more things that don't belong to us because we just feel like we need to. And it's like with the high anxiety, with the high depression rates, it's really take a moment for you. Sit down, analyze for you, where do you fit in the equation, and decide what steps you need to take that will bring you peace. It Talk to somebody. A lot of times we think talking to people is a problem because we're like being a burden to them. And it's like, no, you're not a burden. You're releasing. Get you an accountability partner. Get somebody that you can, you know, actually express your real feelings without feeling guilty. It's about you. It's not always about other people, but we put
So, what I normally do on here, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. And the first one is, what is your favorite color?
purple.
Purple.
Purple's my
Lovely
favorite
color.
color.
And what is your favorite film, if you like films?
Movie wise, I'm very a drama girly. Like I love drama and suspense. Um, and then I just like have favorite people, like actors that I will just like watch all of their stuff. So you like the Best Man series is like my one of my faves. Um, but I'm that girly that just loves like I do love romance, like rom-coms are good too.
Okay. Well, I like documentaries. I love documentaries. And what is your favorite food? What's your favorite food to eat?
Seafood and Mexican food are my favorite.
Oh, lovely. So, Mexican
Yeah.
and seafood. Lovely. And yeah, I think this wraps it up, Tammy, because I think it's everything all wrapped up in a bow in a present, and you've dropped some lovely gems. So, where can people find you on your social media aspect? Where can
On
people
so
find you?
On social media, I am under Coach Tammy Nicole, like on TikTok and on Instagram, or you may find me just at Tammy Nicole without the coach. You can also go to my website at iamtammynicole.com. I do have a coaching program. If you have like questions or things like that, if you want to participate in my coaching program, you can reach out to coaching at iamtammynicole.com or sending questions to questions at iamtammynicole.com.
So, Tammy, you are out there. You are helping so many women, and I I just pray it will continue for you and it will just flourish, and people are going to get helped by you, because I think things that you've dropped, they're like gems. They are literally like gems, and I will go and check out your stuff. And thank you so much for coming on Talks Tasha. And I hope you guys reach out to Tammy and get some inspiration from her. So thank you, Tammy, for coming on.